Welcome. This is my narration for my first 7 days skiing circuit around Käsivarsi, Finnish Lapland Wilderness area. In the first day I was skiing to Termisjärvi, so from Kilpisjärvi village to Termisjärvi. It was late in the evening, so I started at 6 o'clock and I was there around 10 o'clock. It was really amazing to get there. I get a warm welcome from the other trekkers who haven't happened to be there. The evening was really stunning, so I went to bed anyways quite early, around 10 p.m. and I wake up next day around 7-8 a.m. to start my long day of skiing. So day 2 I was skiing mostly first maybe 5 hours across from Termisjärvi across this kind of a low valley area towards the Raittijärvi, which is a Sami village. This is the farthest village from the roads, maybe in the whole Europe. The people living year round, but there's something like 45 kilometers from that to the closest road. This is the Raittijärvi. And from there I was skiing up to the mountains towards a small, really remote cabin called
Kohti Raittijärven kylää. Jos ajattelin pitää paussia siellä hyvän lounaa, kun tästä on vielä tunteroinen sinne.
Skiing was easy,
Sieltä
enjoyable.
sitten jatka matkaa tuonne
Sun was
vuorten
shining.
yli.
I think I actually have a wind behind me, so from the side, so it was quite easy. This is the village. I met one person there. There's a 9 families living year round in the small village. There's no roads. People are using snowmobiles, and then summer times these 4-wheelers. From there I went up the mountains, and really in these 2 days I didn't meet any people at all. I was really enjoying being alone and just doing my own pace and enjoying feeling the solitude with the nature. These are the small cabins. This is the first of this kind of completely free huts where you have the possibility to warm up and sleep. And indeed, because I was alone, there was lots of space as well for me to be. Next day it was a little bit morning was a little bit snowing, so I waited a little bit longer, left around 10 o'clock. I was skiing quite easy. It was a short trip compared to the previous over 33 kilometers. I went to this Taapmajärvi wilderness hut. Enjoyed the first part along the river and then on the mountains to the hut. The weather, as you see, was a bit more cloudier. In this hut as well there was first nobody, but then one couple came later on the evening. It's a small one, maybe the smallest huts of all of these which are in the wilderness areas. There was still enough space for 3 people. Be overnight. We all had a tent, but when you don't need to use it, so you don't want to use the tents. Just enjoy the warmth there. Went bed super early. This is the water place. So there's always a place to pick up water. So you have to dig maybe a couple of meters of the snow. But somebody had been there earlier, so I pick up the snow. And then again a beautiful evening. Wake up super early, around 6 a.m. Left before 8 a.m. up to the mountains. Then turned towards this long river valley, Valttijoki, and went up to this valley to my next hut, which was Kopmajoki hut. It was really beautiful, long, maybe 22 kilometers all in all. It was a pretty heavy wind against, and a couple of snowstorms as well came along the way. But again, I didn't see a single soul in the whole skiing trip, as most of the time when I was skiing any time during the day I didn't see anybody at all. But then in the hut there was the same couple, for example, followed me later on to the same next hut, and we were 3 people there again in the next night. Once you do the skiing up in this kind of whiteness, so you really have time to think about yourself and really felt this gratitude of everything what I've been experiencing about my family and all of these things. So I think it's a good place to be. there was always this kind of passage, like a uphill to the next level of the mountains, and then these kind of valleys where the river was kind of floating. One of those places, then I stopped. There was earlier had been a couple of people, maybe a couple of days ago, staying with the tents, and I had my lunch there. The trip sometimes it is snowing, sometimes the sun was shining. You can see the previous tracks in some of these videos as well. Lots of rabbits.
Rajamökki on siellä.
That is for the Finnish border control. But we were using these small huts, which are free to use. So this had a little bit more space for 3 of us who stayed there that night. Also they have a gas stove. Then there was a short trip, one younger guy, they were been doing the fishing. So they saw this rautu. The big one what they have got that day. Day 5 was really long ascent to up to the mountains, up to the maybe 1 kilometer, and then down to Halti, which is kind of my main focus on main final destination. So at Halti I was staying this kind of a cabin what I need to pre-book. That's maybe 17 hours. All of my really deep hills, so I was using the skins. So in here you can see one of the skis is having the skin, the blue one, and then without the skin, so I still have this kind of fish skin in the middle of the ski. So you can actually go up also some hills without putting any additional support. And here we can see I'm getting to the main track, where you have this kind of sticks to show your path. And that's what I followed them back to the Käsivarsi in the next days. But this is the bigger cabin. There were three older gentlemen there. It was really fun to have a chat with those guys staying, but we had also lots of space there. And next it would be the top of the highest point of the Finland. So I took the route, kind of easier route to get up there. There was people already earlier been there, and then I went down directly from the downhill. So I was doing a little downhill skiing or telemark with my mountain skis.
Next thing is what I will do. I will just take only my skis. I will leave my whatever you call this one, and will hit to Hall. I think it's somewhere there. You actually don't see, but it's behind these mountains. Let's see.
These tracks, this very highest point of Finland, what you actually can see now in the very left top side. 1.324 meter, 1,000 meters. And top of the mountains, normally I've been there a few times, so it's always been cloudy. Now it was super beautiful blue skies, but there's so much like a wind and the snow, so even the sticks are kind of covered in multiple centimeters of the snow on the other side. That is the highest point in Finland. I'm actually standing now in the Norwegian side and walking to the other side of the border, which is now it's all free. I was crossing the border a few times also to the Norway during my trip. And there's a little this kind of guest book, so I've been putting my name there a few times.
It's amazing free ride down to the Halti cabin. I will follow the people's marks. It took 1.5 hours to get up, maybe 20 or half an hour maximum to get down.
Halti area and let's say the top wilderness huts are quite nice, quite unique, as is the whole of this Finnish mountains. So they are very there's no like a peak points. They are kind of really nice and rounded during the ice age. And if you compare to the Norwegian ones, so they are really pointy. It looks completely different. You see few birds on my ways, the small ones and the bigger ones, some reindeers, fox. There's like a wilderness fox tracks what I saw, as well as one of the wolverine. Next day was a long one, but it was all downhill, so I went to Pitsusjärvi, and from Pitsus then there was a really beautiful weather, and down also the wind was behind me, so it was really beautiful. Way up to the Meko, and from there up and up in a really heavy storm to my next place, which was my last night at Godarjohka. And when the weather is, when there's snow, so I was lucky to be in this main track, so you have these sticks there, so you can follow that even with the very, very bad weather. And you don't need to do all the time the navigation, but you can just keep on skiing. But I really enjoyed that day. I skied maybe first 4 or 5 hours to Mekojärvi, and the hut there at Meko, and then I had a little break, lunch, wrote a little bit of my diary, book, and enjoyed the rest there in this small hut at Meko. And then the mountains. It was a stormy day, so we could see, or I was able to see really huge also formations of the clouds, so 3 kilometer high clouds, especially in Kilpisjärvi area. But also then some quite heavy storms came out behind.
Sometimes feel like you're skiing up to the sky. Anyways, but just keep on going. Maybe an hour or so, there will be a cabin. It'll be my last night here. Just still enjoy and think about this trip. And tomorrow it's gonna end. But I'm still here and I'm enjoying. This snowstorm is about to end. I can see there's a little.
After skiing some hour or so, I was able to then finally see the cabin kind of in the horizon. It's really great to get to the warmth of that cabin. But the weather really changed multiple times during that day, and in the evening it began to be super beautiful. Nice sunset and a sunny day. You could see there's multiple other trekkers there as well. They were going uphill. They were going up to the mountains that time. Here we are watching some of the group of people. There are some maybe nine people. They came and they were having this kind of a wilderness training. So they were sleeping in the tents. As you see, the weather already gets really nice after this storm. Just 1 hour later, it's completely different. That time of the year, the sun is really high up in the very late, maybe at 10, 11 o'clock. You can still see the sun, and morning around 5 a.m. the sun already rises. So there's really bright times, and a very short time of the night there's a little bit of darker. This is 8 o'clock, I believe, in the evening when I had a little walk up there around the cabins. Final day, I was then getting closer. I woke up, I think, around 6 o'clock, put some fire on. The sun was already up and shining. Went back to the bed for a little while, had my breakfast, and then left again before 8, I believe. And that day I was going towards the Saarijärvi. Stopped there for the lunch. It was mostly downhill. I mean, first you have maybe a few kilometers uphill, then mostly downhill. You can see the blue line. And then from Saarijärvi, the same thing, I continued then towards the Kilpisjärvi. There's this iconic mountain called Saana mountain, what I was then mostly seeing during my trip. So it's kind of a nice view, and the day was super beautiful. So warm, I was able to ski even without shirt for a little while in the places where there was no wind. But this was my last day, so I tried to enjoy it and make it a little longer. It was only less than 20 kilometers on this trip. All in all, the trip was maybe 150 kilometers and 7 days. Something almost everybody can do with the good shape. And that's also something what people should do. I've been in this wilderness area already. First time when I was a young guy and 30 years ago, and I've been here maybe 10-15 times in Finland and also in the Norwegian side. And just every day, every year, normally once a year we came here, so you really do enjoy it. This time here you can see quickly the heights of everyday's trips. You can see the Halti is really 1.3 kilometers, and the village I started and ended here is something like 400 meters. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the sceneries, and maybe it makes you also to visit that area.